Yo, what up guys? I'm Sammy and welcome back to the So Brothers channel, and today I got a pretty interesting shoe in. So this is a Converse G4 Low. So this shoe is going for 110 bucks. So it's a pretty good price, I would say, right? And Converse is trying to come back to the basketball scene, especially with the All-Star Pro BB, which was a really good performer. So this is Draymond Green's shoe, kind of. And Draymond Green signed with them. I believe Kelly Oubre signed with them, and maybe one other person. So this might be kind of like their main shoe, but this has some interesting technology in it, and I'm pretty excited about it. If you guys want to cop this shoe, I'll leave a link in the description box, but let's get it started off with the traction. So the pattern, you have a pivot point, where the ball of your foot is, and you have it just some lines. And I'll just call it like a waffle pattern here in the forefoot, and then here in the heel, it's just like separate lines. The rubber is very, very hard, and the grooves are very deep. So I believe this outsole is going to be very durable, and I think outdoor use should be fine as well. And there are some flex grooves here in the forefoot, so you have a little bit more flexibility here. And trying this out on my wood floor, it didn't seem like it was biting very hard. There was a little bit of squeak. Maybe it's because of this texture, and it kind of reminds me of the Kyrie 4. Remember the Kyrie 4? It had that texture on the rubber, and the traction was very, very bad until you kind of like wore that off, and then the traction got really, really good. So hopefully that's the case, but as of right now, it's not looking very good. And then here in the heel, it says Converse. The cushion is actually exposed here in the heel, which is kind of cool, and it's actually React cushioning. So moving on to the cushion, we have a React, it says it's a React heel pod, not full length React, but I mean, like here in the forefoot, it's heavily caged. Look at this outsole. Like it starts from, I guess, like kind of in the midfoot and goes all the way up, and it cages everything into the toe and then all the way into the medial side as well. This React heel pod here in the heel, like all the way in the back, there's this rip pattern, and when you put weight and pressure onto this cushion, like here in the back, it helps to like compress the cushion here. And then on the sides, this white part, the outsole does come up a little bit and cages the React cushioning halfway on the lateral and medial side, so you have a little bit more stability, because React is very soft, and I don't know, I mean, it's just standing around in it, it's pretty hard to feel. The heel cushion does protrude out a little bit. That also helps compress the cushion as well, but this does not feel like React. Like the Epic Reacts, or like any other Nike runner that has full-length React cushioning, it doesn't feel like if you press it with your finger, it does not feel as soft as like real React. So I definitely think they kind of like mixed up or messed with the concoction of chemicals to make React, right? So it's a little bit stiffer than that, but like kind of I ran around in it, or like jogged around, and there was a nice little bounce in the heel. When you go like this when you're jogging, nice little bounce, nice little rebound. Also, there is a forefoot zoom unit, and it's top loaded. I couldn't really get a shot of it because it's like all the way into the shoe in the forefoot. But if you look underneath the insole, you can see the outline of the zoom unit. So that's why I'm guessing it's top loaded, and it feels pretty damn nice. It feels like the PG3, and it feels like it's right underneath your foot. But the thing is, like if you look underneath the insole, the strobo board is like the type of strobo board where it's like very stiff. You know what I'm saying? So it's very glued down. So like underneath your foot, it's pretty hard to feel like the React cushioning. The forefoot zoom unit though is pretty prominent, and it feels pretty damn nice, but it's just like here in the heel, it's a little bit hard to feel the React cushioning right underneath your foot, but just like the overall midsole right here feels pretty bouncy, and there's a good amount of compression. Also, court feel seems very good. It feels pretty damn low to the ground, and there is an ortholite insole, so that's pretty nice. And then here on the insole, it says Converse, Nike React plus Nike Zoom Air, which is dope. As far as the heel to toe transition goes, I mean, it's very smooth. There is a nice curved shape here in the heel as well as in the forefoot. The flex in the forefoot is pretty good. It's not the easiest to flex, but it still has flex, so that's good. So it feels pretty smooth overall. As far as the materials go, it doesn't specify what the materials are on the website. It just says mesh overlays. So maybe they're saying this is a mesh and then synthetic overlays. I don't know. Maybe they got it mixed up or something. So here in the toe area, you have a little bit of fuse with this red synthetic. And obviously that's for a toe guard if you do toe drags and stuff. That'll help with durability. And this material, it's not like a mesh. It's more like a canvas material. It reminds me of like a ballistic nylon or something. Like the material on the Jordan 11 like tongue. And then like obviously just Chuck Converse. It feels a little bit thinner than like Chuck canvas, but like it definitely, like the texture feels like canvas, so it feels really supportive. It's relatively thin. It doesn't really conform to your foot very well. or like it's not very easy to move around, like especially with my fingers like this. But I'm sure it'll get a lot softer once I break it in. It's basically like a textile material. And then here on the lateral side, you have a little bit more synthetic, which I think is gonna help for lateral movements. And then of course you have a Converse logo. And then here in the back, you have some like really cheap feeling like suede or nubuck. And then you have some synthetic overlays as well. It feels like there's an internal TPU heel counter, so that's good. And then the tongue, you have some really cheap suede as well as some foam back mesh. And then here on the bottom of the tongue, you have some like more airy mesh, probably for ventilation. And the tongue is pretty well padded. You know, not the most padded tongue I've ever felt, but it's definitely pretty comfortable. So overall materials, I'm actually not that mad at. Like I said, I feel like once you break it in, it's probably gonna get really good. And then as far as the padding here in the ankle area, there's like none. You know, just like on top here, there's a little bit of padding, but it's mostly just the material and then the TPU heel counter. So that probably helps to keep the overall shoe like feeling light and minimal. And as far as the tongue is concerned, it's not an independent tongue. It's more of a half booty tongue where the tongue's connected to a material that goes underneath the upper. So that helps to keep the tongue secure so it doesn't like flop around while you're playing. And it gives you a better overall one-to-one fit. So that feels nice. As far as the fit goes, well, I was very disappointed in. So it runs really long. I went true to size and there's around like an inch to an inch and a half of space lengthwise, but widthwise is pretty good. It's not like wide or anything. I'd say it's actually kind of snug widthwise. So I feel like if you went down half a size, it might even like choke your foot out widthwise. So just be careful on that. So I mean, I would suggest going down half a size, but just be careful of the width. And the support and lockdown, obviously I don't really know. I mean, lateral containment seems like it's gonna be okay. I mean, the rubber and like this midsole comes up slightly, so I feel like that'll help. And then of course you have the synthetic overlay here in the forefoot. And then the React cushioning comes up a lot here in the heel, so that'll help as well. And also this is a pretty wide base, so and also really flat. So I don't think there's going to be any issues with lateral instability or anything. And as far as the weight goes, this shoe feels very, very light. You guys already know in like a basketball shoe or just in just most shoes in general, the outsole and the midsole take up a lot of weight. But React cushioning is very, very light as we've seen from the runners. But this is a different blend, so we'll have to see about that. But like the rubber seems kind of chunky here in the forefoot, so we'll have to see. But like in hand, it feels very, very light. I mean, I'm guessing like 11 ounces maybe? Ooh, 11.71 ounces. So yeah, that's actually very light. And I'm sure if I went down half a size where it's like a better fit for me, it would be even lighter. It feels very minimal as well. Like the material is super duper thin. Like this entire upper. Also in the ankle area. But then like the tongue is pretty well padded. So that kind of like makes up for it. You know, the tongue feels pretty nice on foot. The only thing is like I don't like this toe rubber part here. It makes the shoe feel overall like a little bit stiffer than I would like, but obviously if you want a little bit more like support or like sturdiness from your shoe, then that's pretty good, but I just don't really like it as much. As far as the aesthetics go, I mean, I kind of like it. You know, when I saw it at first, I was like, I don't really know, but like getting it in hand, it looks very different. And I also really like this colorway. You know, on the lateral side here, this logo is blue, and then on the medial side, it's like pink. And then you have a whole plethora of colors like this gold, pink, blue, green. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. But as of right now, it's looking real nice. You know, cushion I like. Materials are very nice. Fit I'm a little bit disappointed in, and traction I am a little bit worried about. But other than that, 110 bucks. It seems like it's gonna be pretty damn solid. So yeah, again, if you guys want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.